survive.
Several months after a deadly officer-involved shooting, a Bay Area family is calling for action. Today, attorneys for the family of Richard Perez filed a federal lawsuit claiming wrongful death and civil rights violations. As KTVU's John Sasaki tells us, the family says the Richmond police officer who shot him was entirely to blame.
We want justice! When do we want it now?
It's a familiar refrain, but in Richmond, this chant was in the name of 24-year-old Richard Perez, who was killed here 4 months ago.
He loved God, and that gives me peace because I know he's in heaven, but I also know that there's a fight to be fought to make things change.
Just after midnight on September 14th, Perez, whose nickname was Pedie, was shot and killed by Richmond police officer Wallace Jensen.
I have nightmares at night. My wife wakes up crying in the middle of the night, wakes up in the morning crying. Yeah, he stole their whole life from us.
Surveillance video from inside Uncle Sam's store shows Perez inside. Then you can see the confrontation with the officer outside, although not exactly what preceded the shooting.
So the officer used poor tactics in attacking him in the first place, stopping him in the first place, and used poor judgment in terms of seeking to use a firearm under circumstances that was not justified. It was a use of excessive force.
That is what's in dispute. What prompted Officer Jensen to open fire?
For now, we're here to receive the lawsuit, which I've done.
Police declined to say anything about the incident.
We really understand the tragedy that this is for the family and the need for them to get clarity on what happened.
But the day of the shooting, Captain Mark Gagan was clear about what police believe prompted the shooting.
The suspect attacked the officer and physically grabbed his gun.
The Perez family adamantly disagrees.
He claimed that Pedie reached for his firearm, and that justified his shooting of him. The evidence is pretty clear from all the other people who were present. That did not happen.
They have to be held accountable, and clearly in this situation, the cop handled the situation very badly.
Perez's family emphasized to me that they are not anti-police. They are opposed to police who use excessive force, which is exactly what they say happened in this case. In Richmond, I'm John Sasaki, KTVU Channel 2 News.